everybody, and welcome to Lattes on My Mind.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Felina. What are we talking about today?
Ooh, we're going to be talking about some Antarctica conspiracies.
Antarctica? That sounds interesting. So grab those lattes and join us for the journey.
What's up?
What is up, indeed? I had something I was going to tell you about. Oh.
What?
Oh, see, this might not make sense to you. Marshall, we were talking about what movie we were going to watch the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like, or no, we were listening to musicals.
Oh, yeah, your game?
And he was like, we came up with a little game because he was like trying to play a song from one of the music. I don't even remember which musical. Words are hard.
Heathers?
No.
Oh, it was something else.
It was something else. And then he said, this is like a playlist. It's 10 hours long. It's called musicals. And then he skipped he didn't know the song. So he skipped the song. And it was like literally like, buh, and I knew it instantly. And I started singing. He goes, you literally heard a millisecond of a note. And so we started playing this game. And then Mean Girls, the musical was on. I was like, Mean Girls. And then I said, you go, Glen Coco. And then he goes, what? And I said, Mean Girls.
Go, Glen Coco.
And then he was like, what? And I said, it's from the movie. He goes, oh, I never saw it. I said,
I haven't either. I know. And I've listened to some of the musical. I
said, how? Well, that
one's, yeah,
that
I know.
makes sense for you, but for him, he's seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but he was also,
and so I'm like, yes, he was also homeschooled, but he's seen a lot.
He's seen more.
Like he was homeschooled because he had ADHD and his teacher was crappy. So, but so we watched it the other day.
You did?
Yeah, and he fell asleep.
No, you need to watch it with me.
He didn't see the end, but he was like, I liked it from what I saw of it. And I was like, okay.
Well, yeah.
He was giggling the entire time. He goes, why haven't I watched this? I was like, there's so many quotes that I have made throughout all of our relationship. And he laughed, but he didn't know. And I was like, there's so many references that I have made
that are Mean Girl. I need to watch it. Like I've listened, like I sang, I think it was like for my audition for Legally Blonde. That's the show I was in.
Yes.
I sang I Would Rather Be Me. It wasn't very good, but that's
okay.
But I haven't seen the movie, but I've listened to most of the musical. I don't know all of it.
You need to watch the movie.
I know. I want to watch it. I feel like, I guess, like going back and watching that stuff, I'm like, when do I do that? Or like, I would want to watch it with Wes, but then he doesn't want to watch anything.
Tell him that Felina is demanding that you guys watch Mean Girls tonight.
Tonight? I mean, I think he likes Mean Girls, but like let's say I want to watch something, okay? Like, the only time I really don't watch his stuff is like, if it's scary, because he likes horror. I don't like horror. Or if he's like watching like, he likes like not murder stuff. That sounds bad. Like serial killers, true crime.
I like true crime and horror and murder stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You and him are very alike in that way. And like sometimes like that stuff just doesn't go well with my anxiety brain. So I avoid it.
There's going to be something you never even thought about, and then you're going to watch something, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, and then you're going to start doing something to protect against that, and you're going to be like adamant about it, even though you never would have thought about it if you didn't watch it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I had that happen. Like he watched Criminal Minds, and like things came up, and I was like, I know it's good, but I was like, it was too much for me, because then I started thinking, because with OCD, if you are introduced to an idea and it freaks you out, then that's all you can think about, even though you're trying not to think about it. And that's the exact, like, that's what it does. It's like, ooh, you're scared that you're thinking about that, because what if you actually like that?
Well, and I think that's normal, though. I think not even an OCD thing. Like, I've had things where I'm like trying my hardest not to think about, and then it's literally all I can think about. Like,
rumination.
Yeah, it's like, don't think about that, and then so automatically you're gonna think about it, and it's like, okay, or like you're gonna be like, okay, don't like if there's a surprise or something, it'll even be like, okay, don't bring this up. Do not bring this up. Do not bring anything related to it up. And then it's like it's all you're thinking about is like, I
Right.
can't.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think
Exactly.
that is
is
people who don't have
Right.
ADHD also experience that, but it is, I understand
Right.
it's heightened with ADHD. Or
With OCD.
You knew what I meant.
Both me and Marshall, we had ADHD, OCD, it's fine.
You knew what I meant.
I did. I was like, I'm not going to correct her. Felina has ADHD. No, we actually don't know.
Actually, undiagnosed, but peer reviewed.
But peer reviewed. Just like a
Have you
journal.
seen that T-shirt? I want it. It
Yes.
says undiagnosed, but peer reviewed.
But did you see that thing that I sent you? That was like...
No, girl, which one?
Well, I know. I've seen you like a million things.
And on
but
which
I
app?
think it was a TikTok.
Oh, then no.
I know. I'm sorry.
I am the worst about TikTok notifications.
Yeah,
I forget to go back and look. Like, I open TikTok and then something else will be playing and then I'll get in the loop. Like, I'm the
Right.
worst at looking at the actual like TikToks.
It says, POV, you found a sweatshirt for you and your bestie. And it says, medicated, but still ain't right. Me, undiagnosed, but everyone's
we're pretty
sure.
I think we need both of those.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was like. Something still
And then we
ain't
need
right.
to wear them on the same day.
Yes, that would be pretty funny if we wore them to work.
Undiagnosed, but everyone's pretty sure.
Medicated, but something still ain't right.
Yeah.
We know.
I mean, that's the same
Right.
principle as
It is.
undiagnosed but peer reviewed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we know. That's why I was like, oh, that reminds me of the thing I sent you. Which
Yes.
I send her so many TikToks just because if I think about it.
You're not the only one who
Yeah.
sends me a lot of TikToks. I'll go through them like once every couple months, and then I'm like, I have like 100 to watch.
Oh, I
Like,
send them to Wes and he doesn't watch them.
yeah, that's what it's like. Marshall will send me Facebook Messenger messages, and I won't watch them, and I will send him Instagram Reels, and he won't watch them.
Right. So we all have our app that we
Yes.
just won't. I'm bad about Instagram messages.
Yeah,
don't-
you're really not.
Oh, I think I'm horrible at
You
it. Like,
respond to all of
sometimes
them.
my sisters will send me stuff and it's like weeks later and I'm like, oh my
yeah,
gosh.
it'll take like a couple
Well,
days, but like you're good.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like long videos and I'm like, oh, I don't have time to watch that right now.
Right.
And then I forget about it. Or it's like, oh, I'm in a place where I can't like
Exactly.
listen out loud.
And then you've
to
already
it.
looked
Yeah.
at it and you're like, oh, I can't watch that.
Yeah,
yet.
and then I forget and then I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't watch
Yeah.
any of these. That's why.
Yeah.
And I don't have notifications on for Instagram. I don't know why. Like I just don't.
I do, but I don't pay attention to them.
Right. Just
I'm like,
ignore 'em.
it's Instagram, clear it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like,
Yeah. And I hate the thing on Snapchat now that like it notifies you when someone posts on their story. I'm
yes.
like, I do not care.
That is so annoying.
Every time I think someone snapped me, I'm like, why the heck would that person snap me? And then I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
it'll
it's
be
their
like
story.
someone from like a summer camp like
Right,
3
like,
years ago.
thousands
Not
of
even
years.
3. It would be like 5 years ago at this
Right.
point. And I'm like, what?
Why am I getting?
Why
yeah.
are you reaching out to me?
And then they're not.
And then it's
And
no,
it's
they
just
just posted
Felina
on their
sending-
story.
It's only Felina sending me a video of Darcy.
Yeah, well, because
Which is
she's
fine.
cute.
She is cute. But
Or
like,
Kiki.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I meant to tell you. Sorry, I'm so sidetracked already.
It's
we're
okay.
like we're 8 minutes into this. Okay.
Why
let
don't
me
we
tell
get
you.
distracted on yours when
I don't know. But okay, so I meant to tell you, I was sitting here, I was on the phone with my mom, and I was like getting everything set up, and like our door was open, and like in our
Yeah.
hall, I said like 5 times. Okay.
It happens.
So in our house, the room we're currently in, which is my room,
the podcast room.
the podcast / gaming room, the door opens, and if our bedroom, Marshall and I's bedroom door is open, you can see straight through it. Like,
Yeah.
like you can see if you're sitting on the futon, which
Yeah.
I was. And our dog's crates are underneath our bed because it's like up higher. And Kiki, our cat, who hates our dogs, all of a sudden, the dogs are outside. I let them out, run around, have fun before Hannah got here, and they had to be put up because they're too loud and
Right,
they
right.
can't act right. So Kiki walked into the room, and then she just walked into Suki's crate. And she does not like Suki. She's
Right.
all right with Darcy if Darcy is not being a crackhead at the moment.
Right.
But she does not like Suki. She can't handle Suki. Suki's got the puppy energy. She's like, I'm over you. She walked into Suki's crate and she just started like looking around, sniffing around, and then she just kind of sat there. I say, Miss Ma'am,
She's like, I'm going to take over this beast's abode.
what are you doing? She said, I'm going to see what these crates are all about.
Right.
But it's interesting.
Interesting.
Never showed any interest before. She had to have surgery. I don't know if I told you guys that. She had to have surgery,
poor
so she had to
baby.
go into a carrier.
She had to get her teeth pulled, right?
And yeah, she had to get her teeth pulled.
Well, not all of them.
Yeah, only 2. She's still got 28 teeth. She's
good. She's fine.
She's loving the soft food.
I bet.
Absolutely goes feral for it. But I'm wondering if maybe it's like she was in, because she
was in this.
We went to the emergency vet, we went to regular vet,
Right.
and then we went to surgical vet. And so we were in
Yeah.
the carrier quite a bit when we haven't been. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if maybe she's like, what's this about? Let me see.
This makes me feel better because
yeah.
I was feeling better.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how.
She knew that after she went in the crate, she felt better. So,
Well, I don't even know, because when I picked her up from the surgery, she was like, "Get me out of here!" Her meows.
she's like, "Get me out of here!
Get me out of here!" In the Mario Kart. Get me out of here. But it's almost like she did not like it. And then I told her, I was like, "Hey, you just got 8 minutes in this thing, and I will let you out." And then Darcy threw up, and so that was a lot longer than 8 minutes to clean up. So I had to apologize to her, but she was
so you kept her in there?
Her meows have been really loud. Yeah. I kept her in there because I had to let the girls out. And I wanted her to feel safe.
Right.
So.
That's understandable.
Because she also could not jump.
Because what? Because she was drugged?
She was high as a kite, and she kept trying to jump up and missing, and then she would get up eventually onto the table, and then she'd like fall off.
Poor thing.
I was like, girl.
She said, "Whoa!" I
didn't even put a blanket on the floor for her to lay on, and she just kept trying to jump up. I was like, "Miss ma'am."
She that's what she's used to doing. So she's like, "Here we go."
Yeah, it was funny. Anyways.
You know what else is
Segway.
You know what else is cool? No, just kidding. We didn't even say that. Antarctica. Felina, what do you know about Antarctica?
It's cold.
It's cold.
There's penguins.
You are correct in those two things.
There's polar
and
bears and seals.
Yeah.
And all the Arctic creatures. And there's water and icebergs.
Okay.
And I'm sure I know other things about Antarctica.
Right. Well, we're really talking about the secrets that Antarctica hides.
The secrets of Antarctica.
But supposedly, now this is up for debate, obviously, but they say the official discovery, which is like by Westerners, you
whatever.
know, so people.
It was discovered before then.
It was before them, but like the official discovery is
Igloos?
1820. Igloos. What? Igloos?
1820. I was thinking about other things I knew about Antarctica. There's igloos.
Her brain is behind. Whenever I ask her a question, it'll be like 2 minutes, and then she's like, "Yeah, I don't know." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "I was answering your question."
My mind is preoccupied. Yes. Okay.
She becomes focused on one thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they build igloos. I think, well, they have like, never mind. I don't know.
The people of Antarctica don't build igloos?
There are no people of Antarctica. They're only scientists. You're thinking of Alaska.
There's nobody lives in Antarctica?
Only researchers. It's too cold. No. They live down there for research and stuff, but no one lives.
They build igloos.
No one lives in Antarctica.
What?
It's too cold. It's too cold. Look it up. Does
I feel like there's like some CIA spies who are undercover, who are off the grid, who they gotta go. I feel like there's a military base there. I feel as though like anyone who's off the grid is like living there. There's like underground tunnels or something, and they're insulated because all the snow is compact. Yeah.
Well, yes, those are the type of people that live there, but it's not just like people. There's not like there are no permanent human residents.
There's no like neighborhood
and no indigenous population in Antarctica
that you know of.
And that's what we're going to be talking about today. That you know of. Also, weird fact: I never thought about it this way, but do you know that Antarctica is technically a desert? Because there's like no population or nothing around. In the actual sense of it being a desert, it has a minimal amount of precipitation. Even though it's frozen, it doesn't get much rain or snow.
What?
Isn't that crazy? So it's literally just frozen. So
basically what you're saying is when it snows in Antarctica, it's not snowing. It's just the snow that's already there that's just blowing in the wind.
It does snow.
Obviously.
But like because it doesn't melt really, it like builds up over thousands and thousands of whatever of years, so it just like stays there, but it gets a very little amount of rain and snow, which I didn't know. I thought it just like was snowing there all the time.
So what you're saying is at one point Antarctica used to have no snow on it.
You know, you never know. You never know. Interesting.
Own conspiracy theory.
Right. We're going to talk about it. And Felina, this is your kind of place. Its average winter is negative 34.4 Celsius, equaling about negative 30 Fahrenheit. So I know
negative 30 degrees.
Negative 30 degrees.
Oh,
It's average.
So comfy.
Yeah, and I didn't write this down, but I think like the like coldest it's ever been, I think it was like negative 100 and something. Can you imagine?
Frostbitten in 2 seconds.
Yes, you'd be dead. You'd be dead.
You'd die.
This is why people don't live there. And apparently I think
tracks,
that like
actually.
when people go on like cruises to see Antarctica, it's like during the summer.
Yeah.
Because
well,
like
it'd have to be.
Like because
You don't want to go in the winter.
Yeah.
That'd be bad.
Because essentially Antarctica is 6 months winter, 6 months summer, because the way that
There's
it tilts.
no seasons.
Yeah, there's no seasons. It's just winter and summer.
That's so sad for them.
So first we're going to talk about.
So how are the penguins in Antarctica?
Oh, I don't know.
How do they survive in the negative 100 degrees?
They're built for it.
No, they're not. They ain't got no fur.
Well, yeah, but they have the.
They got no fur. They can't swim away.
What do you mean they don't have fur? I mean, they have like that whatever it is that's on seals too that like heats their body, like
That's
the thermal.
not fur.
Well, think about like.
Well, how do the seals survive?
Well, because they got.
I could understand
fur.
the polar bears because they got fur.
Well, I mean, seals technically have like a little bit of fur.
Whatever.
Don't they? Like on their skin.
They're not fluffy.
Well, they're not fluffy, but like they're still insulated from the blubber. Like it's fat. The fat
blubber.
Keeps, the fat keeps the body warm.
Oh my gosh! Speaking of seals, I'm sorry, I'm distracted again. I saw this thing and it said that seals don't have taste buds, and then it was like someone commented, "Oh, so they're just fat for the aesthetic."
Oh my gosh! Well, they can be hungry. They just don't get to taste it, I guess. What?
Yeah, like
That's
'cause
so
they're-
weird.
'cause they're fat.
That's depressed.
Seals are big and they're like flappy, and
but they're
fat
they need
because
to.
they need it.
They need it. Okay. Yeah, not just because the aesthetics, guys, because it's sheer survival.
I don't know. It just made me laugh.
That is funny. And you don't ever think about these things, you know?
You
Like,
don't.
You're never like, wait, how do penguins, we need to look this up. But why do we always get all these questions during mine? Like, we need to Google it.
Because you have questionable
I have-
topics.
Questionable. This is questionable. Let's talk about pyramids / ancient civilizations in Antarctica first, okay?
Ooh, my favorite.
So this little thing showed up on the internet.
Hold on. How can there be ancient civilizations? Oh, because it wasn't as cold. Okay, continue.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. So it became popular in 2016. Okay, it was someone was snooping around Google
This
Earth.
thing on the internet.
Yes,
Okay,
this
cool,
thing
cool,
on the
cool.
internet. They were snooping around on Google Earth as you do,
those satellite images.
Yeah. So they see this mountain that looks like a pyramid. It resembles a pyramid very much. So
It's sus.
it's sus. So it starts going around. People are, throwing around theories about it. It's thought to be constructed by an extinct. Well, okay. It's thought by conspiracy theorists to be constructed by an extinct civilization or aliens. Yes, you heard it. Aliens.
I'm wearing my alien earrings.
Yes, she is with the Sasquatch getting abducted.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it in the last episode.
We did.
Unless it was this one. I
If
don't know.
you didn't check out the last episode, you should.
Yeah, because then you'll know what we're talking
Because
about.
you'll know.
But think about this. So this mountain or whatever it is 4,150 feet in height. Okay.
Okay, wait.
And the 4,150 feet
Okay, thank you.
in height.
Okay.
Giza pyramid, that is the tallest in the world, I think. Like the oldest ancient one in the world, is 481 feet tall at its original height. So, and it's now like 451 feet, like from like erosion.
Corrosion.
So
erosion.
Think of that. Like, 4,000 as compared to like 400. Okay, so like automatically you're like, what the heck?
Oh, I didn't even clock that. I thought
Yeah.
it was the other numbers.
Yeah. No,
You knew what I meant.
No, I know what you meant. So people
So it's
believe.
literally like
Let me just show
400
you.
times the size.
Let me show you this mountain, okay?
Okay, so they're both the mountain.
Yes, it's the same mountain. And it's showing like very uniform measurements.
Yeah. But I will say this, we can't see because the snow.
Yeah,
Have
that
they
too.
confirmed that it goes down like that?
What? Goes down like what?
Like a pyramid?
Yeah, but there's a reason for it.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about it. So people think that this is like an alien pyramid, like
Obviously,
that was built.
the aliens built the pyramid.
You think the aliens built the pyramid, so
Duh.
why not this? So,
Or the Nephilim.
yeah, you never know. Oh, they mentioned the Nephilim at the Bigfoot festival, but it was like not like about it, but he was saying, oh, they renamed this thing. It was like called a giant something, and they renamed it because of the like stuff swirling around about Nephilim, so they didn't want it to get confused. And I was like, what? It was really weird. I was like, we need to do an episode on Nephilim.
I feel like we do.
I know. Anyways, it's said to be just a pyramid-shaped mountain. That's what scientists say, and it has a peculiar shape due to years and years of what is called freeze-thaw erosion, which is essentially water or like snow gets into the cracks in the mountain, and then it freezes again. And then it splits it and then breaks off like pieces of the mountain. And they think that gets
and that's where icebergs come from.
Right. No, that's
wait, actually?
Well, not from the mountains. I mean, it's like the ice that falls off the ice shelf surrounding Antarctica that are icebergs, and then they fall into the ocean.
Okay, cool.
But they also think it was made of uniform rock, and that's why it looks so like, I guess different types of rock break differently. And if it's very uniform, it'll break uniform, so it will make like that shape, if that makes sense.
I don't know about it.
I know. I don't know about it either.
I think it's a pyramid.
I think it's a pyramid too. Aliens could build a 4,000-foot pyramid.
Well, they're living in the ocean, so.
Well, and they think there might be some things in the Antarctic Ocean, but I mean, I'm not going to cover that very much, but there was this thing. There was this thing called the...
Immediately goes to cover it.
I'm not going to talk about it. No, I am going to talk about this thing called Perry Rees or something map, which is the name of the guy who created this map. Perry Rees. Period. Period. It was created supposedly 300 years before Antarctica was even discovered. Supposedly.
Oh. What?
Yeah, I know. Like, you know how they said it was like officially discovered? That's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
He was an Ottoman sailor, so I think also
of the
Turkey.
Ottoman Empire.
Yes, of the Ottoman Empire. In 1513, he was also a cartographer. Do you know what a cartographer is?
It's the map person.
Oh my goodness! Good job. Yes, it is someone who creates maps.
It's the job I could never have.
Yeah, you would hate that job. I think it would be kind of fun.
I would despise
Except
it.
the math.
I'd be like, look, here's a bug.
She says, this is the shape of the country. And it's like completely off.
It's like, no, that's actually not.
Right. But his map, what's interesting about it is, one thing is that it like depicts the coastline of South America. So this country over here, which is fairly decent. Okay. It looks kind of like South America. And on his map, he has land drawn. Is she about to burp?
No. She's confused.
Okay, go ahead. Ask the question.
Antarctica is by South America?
No. It's just saying, like, on his map, he has a world map. And his depiction of South America is pretty accurate. So they're saying, like,
okay,
he
so
knows
that's
something
so
of
he's
something.
Good. So he's good.
He
so
knows
he's
something.
Good.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. Okay, cool.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so his South American coastline is like pretty, accurate, pretty decent.
As accurate as it could be.
Yeah. And then it shows a landmass where Antarctica should be, okay? But it's not with the ice, okay? So, which obviously, this is 1513. So obviously, there had to be ice then, okay? But allegedly, his outline...
Or did there.
Right, or did there. Allegedly, his outline is close to what, like, Antarctica would look like without the ice shelf. Because, like, essentially, Antarctica, there's a landmass, and then there's ice, and that, like... That makes the coastline now, because like the ice goes out into the ocean. Okay, so the ice extends beyond the land essentially because it's so
the
frozen.
Ice has added to the square footage of the island.
Yeah. So who actually knows how big Antarctica actually is? Okay,
because there's so much ice.
So because of this, because it's depicted without ice, I don't know if it's just because he didn't know. Like no one knows. Like they hear tell that there's a land down south, but they don't know what it looks like. But like how did he...
south, you hear south. You think tropics.
Warm. Yeah. You would think. So,
but if you go south enough, you're north.
Yeah, think about that. Unless it's a flat Earth, and you hit the ice wall.
Sure.
I'm not going into that, but I did want to say, remember that the ice wall theory of the flat Earthers.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you need to go back and listen to our flat Earth episode.
Yes, you do. I wasn't going to cover it because obviously it is one of the conspiracies, but essentially, like Antarctica is not actually a continent; it's just like a huge ice wall that goes around the world. A flat Earth
that closes us in.
Yeah, it's the wall. We can't get out.
We're trapped in a simulation.
And if we do get out, there are other like places outside the ice wall. Anyway, so some believe that he knew something. What?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
What if?
Okay.
we're touching on the flat Earth now. Sorry.
I know you're fine.
What if you get outside of the ice wall, it's like the other, like the, what's the word? Like the megaverse.
Oh, the multiverse?
Thank you.
Multiverse. You're welcome. Thank you.
I knew megaverse wasn't it.
You tried to thank you.
It's like 7:30. We're recording this after we've worked. Okay,
Yes.
give us some grace.
Yes.
The
megaverse.
I like megaverse.
We should make
better.
a film that's called
What if-
Felina and the Megaverse.
What if that's like you go to the other universes?
That's where
You
the
go
Nephilim live.
Yeah, whoa.
And the Megalodons.
And we're all just Nephilim,
Right.
In a different universe.
We could be. There could be a Hannah Nephilim and there could be a Felina Nephilim.
And
a Felina limb.
you know what? They're on the a Felinalum.
Felina limb.
A Felinalum.
Oh my gosh.
We so off track.
Why do we always have this happen during my episodes?
It's always your episode. I get
will
more
say,
curious.
Yeah, my parents mentioned this. They said Felina just she distracts you so much.
I'm so sorry, Hannah's
so
parents.
shout out to my parents. No,
I'm so
I think
sorry.
they think it's funny. But
Okay.
they were like she just
Again, it's the undiagnosed, but
I know.
but where everyone's pretty sure,
Yeah.
but peer reviewed.
People are sure. People
know.
So some people think that if this guy had actually traveled to Antarctica,
Yes.
he would have drawn the ice outline. He would have drawn a more accurate coast based off the ice. Well, first of all,
Okay.
it could have changed.
It could have.
But it is only like 300 years till they actually discovered it. So I don't think it would have changed that much.
So there should have been ice.
There should have been ice. Now,
Maybe he knows someone who went there.
that's what I'm saying. Like, they believe he maybe knew something. So they think that at the time there was...
Words are hard, Hannah.
They
I
are
know.
hard. He had knowledge of an ancient civilization or something that had drawn a map that
he's an alien.
or he's an alien.
And he drew the map based off
Right.
of the first time
off
he
of maps
came.
and maps and maps that somewhere he knew something of. Maybe.
Yes.
Now, scientists think, obviously, that his idea of Antarctica was just possibly, it was just hypothetical. It was just based off of hearsay because people thought there was a landmass down there. But I'm saying, but if you drew it and it at least resembled the landmass
It resembles
part,
enough for people to
Yeah.
know, oh, this is Antarctica.
if he just drew a hypothetical thing, he probably would have just drawn not a blob. Like if
But
you're
a
good at your
blob.
job, he's a cartographer.
Still,
So-
if you don't know anything about it,
Right.
though.
There was at least an educated guess or an educated, he saw maps from someone else who knew what Antarctica looked like before the ice was there or something.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. Now,
He was visited by the angels.
yes,
But actually, they were
the Nephilim, the aliens.
I just whispered that. I hope you can hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's some of the theories about the pyramid, the people that lived there before. Now, we're going to get into the hollow earth, not the flat earth.
The earth is hollow.
The earth is hollow.
What? Oh my gosh. I
Yes.
saw this thing on the news at work. I was going, sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to warm up my spags.
Spaghetti,
My
for
getty.
those.
My spags. And my spags and balls, okay?
Ew.
And,
Oh my gosh.
and the sound was actually on because we have our TV muted because
Yeah.
we're editing things. But the sound was on. And I heard them talking about there's a volcano that's erupting right
lava?
now.
Yeah, the lava thing?
Well, the volcano's erupting and there's gold coming up onto the surface.
Is it actually gold?
Yes. There's
What?
gold and other elements coming
and
up
Felina
onto
hop
the
in the
surface.
plane.
Said, let's go.
Let's go.
Got a blast.
I thought it was just saying me and our coworker were watching it and I was like, what is going on? What are they talking about? And he's like, oh, I think it's just, it's just lava or whatever. And I was like, oh, I thought they meant actual gold because we weren't listening to it. So I was like,
No,
we
yeah,
thought they
no,
were
they're
using it as a metaphor.
literally gold is coming up from the Earth's crust.
Oh my gosh. So maybe the
And
Earth's
then
crust
it's
or the Earth's core is made of gold.
We're rich. rich.
We're rich. We don't even know it.
We're
Can you
rich.
believe that though? Because people would start drilling down, and then we would just like destroy the earth because people would just want gold, and then it would.
And then we'd all
Yeah.
meet Jesus.
And then we'd all meet Jesus.
Yes.
He'd be like, "Why'd you do that?"
Now, why'd you go? Why'd you have to be a dummy?
And now, why'd
Go
you
and
do that?
Oh, it's like the thing I saw. Is Jesus fighting people in the parking lot?
I love that. I mean, that meme always makes me laugh.
Yes.
It's true. So people on so let's talk about the Hollow Earth. People on this ship in 1963, it was
Yes.
called the Edisto. It was an icebreaker ship, you know? So you
ooh.
you use it to go through the ice and stuff.
Is the heavy duty? It was the
Right. So they see something. Now this isn't like a conspiracy part, but I'm just kind of giving a little background of some cool things. They see something on an iceberg in the Ross Sea. It's smashed into the side of the iceberg. It's called Ross.
Okay, I thought you said in the raw sea.
In the Ross Sea. And the Ross Sea.
Pray tell, what is the raw ocean? The raw
No,
sea?
it's not an ocean. It's a Ross,
Ross.
Sea.
The Ross Sea.
Ross.
Ross can. Continue. Keep going.
Is this a Friends thing?
Yes.
Okay.
I realized afterwards.
I feel like you've quoted. What was that laughter? Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
So they see something on this iceberg. Say.
Say. You see. We've really derailed here.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We are really going crazy.
Again, we worked today. Give us a break.
We were like falling asleep.
This is my first day of what we're calling freedom because I don't have anything else I need to do.
Right. This is,
Whether that be give a dog medicine or
go do a show.
Go do a show or go
to rehearsal.
Organize things or,
Yeah. All those sorts of things. Life. Or go on an icebreaker ship. That
I would kill to be on an icebreaker ship right now.
You'd be freezing though.
I'd have mitt warmers.
Okay.
What?
Mitt warmers?
I said what I said.
I said mitt warmers. So they see shards of wood and bits of canvas coming out of the iceberg. Okay.
Oh.
They say that ain't supposed to be there.
It sounds like another ship.
Yes.
Wrecked.
Yes, it is thought to belong to Antarctic explorers. Okay.
Cute.
And they didn't know, they know about this exploration, but they didn't know
what happened to them.
Yeah. Well, not what happened to them, but like what happened to their camp. Okay. Because they did come back.
They didn't. Oh,
right.
What?
Yes. Okay. I'm going to tell you about some of these explorers.
It wasn't them. Yeah. It was the aliens.
But they didn't know how it got like on the iceberg because like icebergs are the things that break off. So like something broke off. So they're like, is this actually the camp that belonged to this guy? Now this guy.
Oh, right. Like they left stuff behind.
Yeah. They left stuff behind.
I see what you're saying.
So this guy, I just thought it was cool that they like found it.
They're not the conspiracy.
No.
Okay.
But this guy is. Okay. So his name is Admiral Richard E. Byrd. Bird spelled with a Y. Okay.
B-Y-R-D. Okay.
Yes. He was a U.S. Navy officer. Okay. And he was responsible for 5 Antarctic explorations.
Cute.
Okay.
He knew what he was doing.
That was a lot for, that's
he
not
knew
really.
What year is
this? This is 1940s-ish.
Okay. So impressive. Yeah. He knew what he was doing. Right. He was experienced.
Right.
He's the guy whose ship you wanted to be on.
Right. If you're going to go to Antarctica, go with him, supposedly. Now
you'll come back successfully.
You will. Some of you. No, just kidding.
Not all of
I
you.
don't think some of you might die. But that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make for Antarctic exploration. So he was one of the first people also to fly over the North and South poles because I guess he was also I think he flew himself. So
you heard about the pole reversal?
I have a little bit. You were telling me about it.
We might be doing a podcast episode on it. So.
Ooh, so you can explain to me what will happen. I do have a little tease in the end about a pole shift, but I don't go into detail about what that is.
Beautiful. Continue on.
So it's thought that this could obviously be the remainder of one of Byrd's camps. And he named them like this one. I think it was either Little America 3 or Little America 4. So he would call them Little America.
Little America.
So because I guess, he was cute. American. I believe. I mean, that would only make sense.
Well, you said he was an American.
A U.S. Yes, US. I did. I literally did. That just didn't. That was just his title. Did not register in my mind that
He's
meant
USSR.
No.
USSR. No.
He brought to one of his camps. So they were trying to like confirm that this was one of his camps, but I don't think that they ever did. But they were looking for this thing that he made to bring. It was called the Antarctic Snow Cruiser. Okay, which was like part tank, part bus.
Iconic.
Let me tell you about this. Okay, it was built to go for like 5,000 miles. So I guess like without refilling itself.
Holy crap.
Okay. It was 56 feet long, 19 feet wide, and 16 feet in height.
What was he trying to fit in here?
A crew. So he was trying to essentially...
Like the full crew?
Like, not the full crew, but like several members who could go on an exploration and not have to stop for days.
So how many people are in a crew then?
Oh.
Because it was my understanding that it was like 4 people.
No. Like when he went on this... Okay, so he did, I think, 2 explorations before this on his own. And then the next 3 that he did were like government, like involved.
Okay, but even still, I feel like...
Yes.
In the movies, it's always like 4 or 5 people.
Well, you know the movies. I'm going to tell you how many he brought in his 1946 exploration in just a second.
Oh, please do.
So,
I look forward to it.
But this thing that he took, he wanted to go exploring out in the wilderness, you know, without having to stop or come back every night, you know. So
I mean, that you can get a lot, you can explore a lot more.
Right.
It tracks.
So this thing had 10-foot high balloon tires, okay? Because he thought that the balloon, like smooth tires, would go on the ice.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
They don't.
Yeah, exactly. But this thing also had lodging in it, okay, for the explorers. It had a galley.
Right, because if you're gonna be gone for several days, you need somewhere to sleep.
You sleep in quarters, storeroom.
You need somewhere to eat.
Right. They had like, you know, like I said, like the galley, I think that's where they keep the stuff.
Yeah.
And a dark room. So like for developing photos, I think.
Right.
That's what that's called, right?
Yes.
And then there was a space on top of this snow cruiser to like put a little plane.
Okay.
Like to carry a plane with them. So if they needed to.
So he was a pilot too.
Yes, I'm assuming because he flew over the pole. So I'm pretty sure he was like, which is interesting because he was Navy. But like, I guess they could fly then? I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I think he was in World War II. So I'm sure.
It feels like something that he learned
after the case.
After the war.
After the war. So this thing was worth like $150,000, or that's how much he spent to make it. And apparently that's like $3 million-ish.
I was about to say, what is that today? Because
it was a lot, okay? And it weighed 37 tons when it was fully like loaded, outfitted, like for the trip. 37 tons, okay?
It's not crossing any bridges.
No. The wheels, spoiler alert, like we said, did not work on Antarctic ice. It literally, there's like a video of it, and it like first comes off the ship, and it almost immediately like falls over, like plunges down, like because of the weight. It like almost tipsy, like on its face.
At that point, they could have put something like some grooves.
Yeah,
some makeshift grooves.
They tried to put chains on it.
Yeah.
Around the tires, but it only worked like going backwards. So all they could do was like go out and then like come back to camp with it, and they just like gave up. They just gave up after they spent $150,000 on it.
They didn't try to like move the chains the other direction and think maybe I can go forward now.
It just kept getting stuck. So that was a bust. I'm surprised that they let him go on more expeditions after this. Honestly, because that's a lot of money.
Found something.
Yeah, but what? So exactly. So he led something called Operation High Jump in 1946 to the South Pole, and this one, I think this was the same one with the tank. I'm not sure, but they had 13 ships. Okay, so sailing ships.
Okay.
It was in the same video. The guy switched on me. He said they had 23 aircraft, and then later on he said they had 33 aircraft, and I was like,
liar.
Which one is it?
Fake news.
This is a History Channel video, I would just like to say.
Oh. You would think that they would have like...
Yeah, double check that.
Yeah.
But anyways, and also 4,700 troops, military personnel. Okay? So you said 4 people? 4,700 on this one.
Why?
Exactly.
What did they see in Antarctica on the other one that they felt like they needed 4,000 troops? Not just 4,000 like explorers, scientists, doctors,
troops,
whatever,
military
troops. That's just the troops. Was it only troops? Did they also take scientists?
Well, Admiral Byrd, I guess, is technically like retired.
Yeah, but you always
Navy
need
officer.
think about like
for sure they had like scientists and stuff. Like what you have to have people who would know what was going on with the Earth and stuff.
What on earth did they see that they thought they needed 4,000 armed people?
And also, he was technically sent to Antarctica, okay, to complete like certain military objectives, okay, for like 4 months. I'm like, what military objectives would need to be done in Antarctica?
Like training in Antarctica?
Well, yeah, but why? Like to like practice in the climate?
This is giving Gordon Ramsay goes to Area 51.
Yeah.
This is what this is giving.
Exactly.
Why?
Supposedly, he has these diaries that are left behind after he dies that are found by his son. Okay. And they like recount. Yeah. They recount like his stories. Obviously, some people think that these are hoaxes that are not actually written by Admiral Byrd.
Well, that's no fun. It's no fun to think that way.
According to his diaries, according to his claims, he found something he was not supposed to talk about in Antarctica. Okay. He was not supposed to.
Did he talk about it in his diary?
He did talk about it in his diary.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Mr. Byrd.
Right. So it was thought that Mr. Byrd here, he knew about the entrance to the hollow earth that was supposedly at the South Pole. And let me talk about this for a moment. Okay?
Okay.
This hollow earth theory is put forth by this man named John Cleve Sims Jr. Something like that. Okay?
John.
We'll call him John for short.
We'll say John.
Johnny Boy
Good old Johnny
believes
Boy.
that inside of the globe is hollow. Okay?
Inside of the globe?
Well, he believes it's a round earth, but it's a hollow earth, okay?
No, you said globe weird, and I heard bloob, and I said
inside the
globe.
So he thinks that there's like a 800-mile thick crust, okay, that we're living on. So it's just 800 miles thick, is according to him. Now, there are entrances to the middle of the earth at both the north and south poles.
Did he see the diamonds?
There's something down there. Now, apparently, these entrances are huge. And I'm like, if they're huge, how come we haven't seen them on like satellite imagery? But
because it's all doctored.
It's all doctored. So if you enter these, apparently it reveals like 4 inner layers inside this shell, and there's mild climate inside. So we're talking about like animals and humans could live there.
So we're talking like, did you ever see Kong versus Godzilla?
No, but
what? There's like they like go down and there's like a climate.
Isn't that Journey to the Center of the Earth?
No, but that too.
That too, yeah. I was like, that sounds like so Godzilla versus Kong, they go inside the earth as well.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole like dinosaur land?
Yeah, pretty much.
Kinda? Okay. Yeah. Interesting. That's kind of like what this is. Except not. Now this guy, Sims, we're talking about Sims, Johnny Boy.
Johnny Sims.
Yes. He originally only published ideas in like small private pamphlets, okay? And like sent it to scientists and politicians and stuff, like to try to like, I guess, make them aware of this.
Okay.
But then later he did expand into lecturing. So he went around and like lectured about his theory, and some of the like bigger publishers, like I think like journals or like magazines, published his articles. Okay. And apparently his idea became widespread enough that like it influenced like one of Edgar Allan Poe's novellas, and like it like.
Oh, so this was before Edgar Allan Poe?
Yeah, this guy is like 1800s. So this is before our guy Byrd. Okay, because Byrd is 1946. So this guy's like 1800s. He is the one who like originally like popularized the idea that the earth could be hollow and stuff like that.
Okay.
So.
And Byrd is basically like, homie was right.
Your homie was right. And so like obviously like Jules Verne's writings obviously probably influenced by this guy Nathaniel.
Obviously I know who that is.
Oh well, like Journey to the Center of the Earth, he wrote that.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I was like we just talked about this.
Okay.
Now supposedly Byrd found this entrance, obviously. Okay. And they fly into it. So they are flying into it with their planes. Okay.
Oh.
So
dangerous.
Yeah, it seems dangerous. It's apparently a pretty big entrance. Now they fly in, and they're supposedly immediately. Now remember, they're entering through the South Pole. Inside is a completely mild climate, very temperate. Okay, a very colorful city appears before them, made out of crystal.
Ooh,
okay,
the Emerald City.
The Emerald City. One short day
in the Emerald City.
This is a rainbow city, apparently, like crystal rainbow, shiny. Okay, and as they're flying, his plane is like taken over, like he can't control it anymore. Okay,
I said it's risky.
Yeah, it's controlled by what seem to be UFO type crafts that appear.
Oh yes, it's the aliens.
Yes,
I knew they were coming into play.
So he is taken, I guess, by these alien creatures or whatever they are to their leader called the Master. That's what he's called.
Master Commander.
Okay. And apparently he has this conversation with the guy who talks about they're not happy with how humans are using nuclear weapons.
Right. Neither are humans.
Neither are humans. So they're very concerned. They're like, you're going to destroy the earth.
Correct.
And like, we actually live in here too. Like, we're inside, so you guys got to stop.
Well, then maybe you should steal them.
Right.
in your fancy dancy invisible spaceships.
Right. So Bird writes all this in his journals, okay? I don't know what made... I'm assuming that, like, whatever... I don't know if he was, like, obsessed with, like, John's theories about it. I mean, he had heard about it, so I don't know if that's why he originally went to Antarctica. I have no idea. Like,
he was searching.
He was searching for something.
He found what he went there to find.
And somehow he convinced this to become, like, a government expedition.
That's how, because aliens.
Yes. And we'll talk about that. And another interesting thing to note is apparently, like... And I tried to look this up to confirm it, but apparently after World War II is kind of when the modern American UFO obsession started, like in the 1947s.
Well, I think I talked about it in the Aliens episode, which is a good episode. You should go check it out.
Yes, you should. So another interesting thing to note, because remember, he was part of World War II, and they were all, and the aliens apparently in the middle of the earth were concerned about nuclear warfare.
He saw something in World War II.
Yeah, which is exactly like, you know, when we had the atomic bombs and things like that.
Yep.
So all of this is tracking, right? Okay, now this other guy in 2018, so we're jumping quite forward.
Whoa.
We're taking a jump forward really quick so we can talk about this real quick before we get into the other stuff.
Okay, cool.
This journalist, her name was Linda Moulton Howe, which I mean, you'll probably forget that. Linda, yeah.
Linda, look it, girl.
Yes. So she interviewed a source that obviously did not want his real identity told.
Cute.
So he's like on
coward.
No, he's on camera like talking, but it's, you know, it's just his shadow or just his like.
And his voice is like monotone.
Yeah, he's like, whatever. I want to blah blah blah. He was apparently a retired Navy SEAL as well, which I mean the other guy wasn't a Navy SEAL, but he was a Navy U.S. officer or whatever. And he said, "Oh, we were sent to like, you know, our surface mission or like our unofficial mission was to research is called a research reconnaissance mission."
Okay. Yeah.
Where they're supposed to go. Now he said apparently the official mission was to contact the official mission, like that they didn't tell about people, was about contacting a certain person and then like bringing information back. Okay, what person?
It was the aliens.
It was the aliens.
It was the aliens in the center.
Right. Now, he was telling this story in 2018, but he said it happened in August 2003. Okay?
Yes.
So
because they wait a while before they step forward.
Right. Now, he didn't tell. Now, the one thing is, like, I'm like, he never mentions who they go to talk to.
Because it's classified.
Probably because it's classified, but like.
He doesn't want a target on his head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the government will come for him.
They'll find out which one it is.
Yeah.
Also, there's like not that many Navy SEALs at a time. I feel like it's like a lower. It's like it's harder to become a Navy
and if you
SEAL.
say I was on a mission in 2003, only the people on this mission
in a Navy SEAL, so they can narrow you down. Narrow you down. So he says that they go to this place in Antarctica. It's a huge octagonal. Is that how you say it? Octagon. Yeah. Octagonal.
Wait, octagon is 8 sides.
8 sides, yes.
Octagonal is like,
I thought it had like 8 sides. Like it's like a stop sign, big thing.
I was thinking oval.
Oh, yeah, an oval. That's how you say it.
Octagonal is like an oval.
Octagonal building, okay?
I'm a dummy.
No, you're not.
A building. Whoa, okay.
A building in Antarctica.
Okay.
Half of it's buried in ice, supposedly. Cute. Now, when they go up to the doors, okay, these doors are like 18 feet to 30 feet thick. He said 18 to 30. That's a wide range. But apparently, you can open the doors with like one little push of your finger, okay?
That's cool.
They super open.
I want to open the doors.
They super open. And he says, okay, outside it's like negative 40, right? When we go inside, it's like 68 degrees in this building.
Like that. Can handle that a lot better.
Right.
68 degrees in my house right now.
Right now? Mm-hmm. Okay, then yeah, we can handle that. Although you do have a little sweater on. You're bundled up.
Yeah, but I'm also wearing shorts.
That's true.
The sweater's there for comfort.
Yeah. Why? Like hoodies and sweaters are just comfort.
Yeah.
So they go inside and the place is lit by this like greenish light that they couldn't find the source to.
The Emerald City.
And I know, for real, the Emerald City aliens. Okay, and he said that the walls had like hieroglyphic-like things that he had never seen before. Okay, so a language.
So aliens.
But that's it. That's the whole story.
That's it.
That's it. That's all he told. I'm like, okay, who's this what is this person? And so he could apparently he can't talk about the rest.
It's the Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz. They were really just going through a sea of poppies, and they think it's
We're
snowing.
off to see the wizard.
The wonderful wizard. Yeah, I was a little bit like, okay, but what happens after that?
And then we have to come back and tell you what happened.
Exactly.
Except not tell the public.
Exactly.
No, yeah, it's definitely... Superman.
Superman? Explain.
Superman.
You think he's in Antarctica?
Yeah, there's like that's like a whole plot line of Superman.
What? Oh, well, I've never watched Superman.
In the
I thought it was a different planet.
Well, yes, he's from a different planet.
Yeah.
But there's like a whole a whole
they go to
storyline of
Antarctica?
Superman in the frozen tundra.
Oh, speaking of frozen tundra.
Oh.
We're going to now talk about a few random things before we close, obviously.
Okay, perfect.
Before we come to a close, I have a few more things for you. Go ahead, though. You're going to tell me something?
Well, I have to Google it.
Oh, okay. Well.
His Fortress of Solitude. That's what it is.
The Fortress of Solitude.
Yes.
So this is what this is.
The Fortress of Solitude is located in Antarctica, and it's like crystally.
So is Superman an alien?
Fortress of Solitude, Superman.
What?
It's like crystals.
I haven't watched it.
And then there's like the glow.
No, it's literally like the
you're
aliens.
talking about. It's literally Superman.
It's Superman, guys. We solved it.
I told you, which Superman's an alien. I saw this meme and it was Batman and Superman and they were like hanging out and Batman goes, so you believe in aliens? And then Superman is just like, it's got like the ... graphic over.
I am an alien.
Because he's like, I'm an alien.
He's literally an alien. He's from another planet.
Literally an alien.
Like he is the definition of that word,
yes.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And he lives in a crystal city, which apparently...
Fortress of Solitude.
Right.
I knew
the hollow earth is the fortress of solitude.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
That's what we say.
Well, although we don't know that where this guy went from 2018 was the hollow earth. It could have been another thing.
Well, yeah, because it didn't sound like...
It didn't sound like the same description.
No, it was a building.
It was a
so
different
it was like a...
the aliens came out of the hollow earth.
That's like one of their little outposts or something. Yeah. So another thing to know is like going back to another podcast that I did. Ooh. There's a proposal that Antarctica. That you did? Yes, that I did in the past. It's proposed that Antarctica might be Atlantis.
I had this thought when you first started.
Right.
Like, what if Antarctica is Atlantis? And that's why there was the old drawing of it and there was no snow.
Yes.
Is because it was actually Atlantis. And then it didn't actually sink. It just froze over.
Yeah, because something that you would like to talk about, it's thought that maybe it used to be Atlantis because there was a pole shift. And so, pole shift.
The pole reversal.
Right. So that the land froze. And aliens who had landed on Earth, okay, so people that were there
frozen under there,
flash frozen, exactly, exactly.
There's literally a movie about this that I watched like not that long ago,
probably
like within this year.
Literally, okay, I want to watch this, and it's interesting because they think like how Atlantis was like destroyed by this like flood supposedly. Well, in every ancient culture, which I will probably be talking about this in another episode that I'm going to do. But the flood story is like in almost all ancient civilizations, like this huge flood that destroyed the earth. Okay. So what if this pole reversal like caused the flood and Atlantis, that used to be a temperate, very advanced civilization, if you remember.
Super advanced. Which one of our coworkers were talking about, like, there's no way, like, we were way more advanced before, and then something happened. Right. And all the people who were advanced died off. Yeah. And isn't there also that thing in the Bible where it's like the reason we speak different languages?
They like, we're building this tower.
Yeah.
And it's also thought that the governments around the world are working with the aliens in Antarctica secretly. And that's why, obviously, when Bird was trying to tell things, they were like, no, you can't talk about this or whatever. Because we're actually working with them, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, they've confirmed there's aliens.
Yes.
And I mean, there was, I can't remember who I was talking to, but there was someone who was like, yeah, no, this guy literally like went and like worked on like alien.
Oh yeah. Weren't we talking about that?
Spaceships.
Spaceships? I have to work my space shift today.
Darn it. I got my stupid space shift.
I got my space shift today.
No, it's spaceships. And it was like technology. Like he was working on like alien technology. And like at one point they like got him to move something, but they like couldn't figure out like how to move it.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah. I don't remember.
And he was like, no, I was literally taken up or something. Like, maybe, was he?
No, he wasn't. He was taken to Area 51.
Oh, he was like, yeah.
To work on, to see if he could figure out, like, mechanically.
Yeah, how it worked.
Yeah.
Also, something else. Nazis. They always show up. So after they lost in World War II.
Listen, we already tracked the Nazis. We know where they are.
There's some in Antarctica.
Probably.
There's some in Antarctica. It's thought that obviously, okay, so before they lost World War II, they did go on this kind of like this little mission over Antarctica. So they like flew over Antarctica because they were looking for like a possible whaling base because they wanted to have their own supply of whale oil because whale oil goes in margarine. And apparently they liked the margarine.
They say, give us the butter.
According to this video I watched, they're like, I guess they really liked margarine.
You can probably use whale oil for other things.
Candles or, you know, whatever. Things to make, you know.
Any sort of bombs.
Yes, bombs, probably. So because they accidentally. What is happening? That wasn't even a word I was going to say.
I said music when I meant to say muscle. We're fine.
Supposedly the Third Reich did go on this little mission over this place and they dropped all these like iron swastikas over Antarctica and they just dropped them and left them.
That's bad juju.
Yeah, that's bad juju. So
we don't want that.
They think like, well, if they're like scoping it out, like, and they drop stuff, like what says that they didn't go there after they lost, took lots of high-ranking officials and like made a base there, like supposedly
because
that's what they were doing.
They were in what's that place?
Yeah, you already did an episode on this, which
Argentina.
Go listen to Felina's Argentina, which makes more sense. Like, why would you go to Antarctica? Like, Argentina seems like a much better place.
But I could understand them dropping it there to think that to lead people to believe that he was in Antarctica.
It's true. And it's also thought that they're there because they think that the expeditions that America did and some that Britain did apparently was to like look for the Nazi base in Antarctica because they think there's one.
It probably got like frozen over. Like you probably
right.
Did we ever find the iron swastikas?
No, they didn't go back and look for them.
Iron
I don't
swastikas?
know.
Were they like massive or were they like?
I assume they were probably like pretty small if there were like thousands of them dropping from a plane.
Oh, you said thousands. That's
true.
There
were like a lot of them.
Did they drop them in the
shape?
In the shape of a swastika?
I hope not.
That would be so unfortunate.
I don't think that they were that dedicated to doing it.
Cool.
And there actually are stories of Operation High Jump mission, which is what the bird guy was on, of them encountering, first of all, flying discs coming out of the water. So UFOs.
Because again,
aliens live in the ocean.
They're living in the ocean. Why do you think we haven't explored the ocean? It's because we know that the aliens are down there.
Right.
And we have a peace treaty with them. And we're like, no, we'll just pretend like you don't exist. And then if they figure it out, we'll be like, yeah, there's aliens, but it's no big deal.
All in the
it's
ocean.
fine.
They've
we're
been
good.
there.
But like, we're not going to tell them where you are. And why do you think we're exploring space, but we're not exploring our own world of the ocean? Are you kidding? You think we worked out how to get up into space? Not necessarily land on the moon. But we've worked up how to get into space, but we haven't worked how to get into our own ocean.
Yeah,
right. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's because the aliens live there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. They'd be like, oh, people expect aliens to be from outer space, so we can do searching there, but we're not going to do searching in the ocean because they don't need to know that they're actually in the ocean.
Well, but I mean, like they come from space and then they go into the ocean.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's what I'm saying.
Well, okay.
They're from a different world. Obviously.
From in the inside, the hollow earth.
The hollow earth. Maybe there's a portal in the middle of earth and then they're like...
Yeah, they like... And that's why they go down into the ocean.
Yeah.
And then it goes... And there's a portal and it goes into the earth's core.
Like in The Incredibles.
Yeah, like... So it's thought that during that mission that they possibly fought with alien troops as well as people of the Third Reich. So they were like... getting rid of the last.
So the Nazis teamed up with the aliens?
Yeah, I guess it. Like aliens,
so unfortunate for us.
Well, I don't know if they teamed up with the aliens, but they were using UFO technology supposedly. Now
they teamed.
They found some flying saucers and decided to, or I guess I shouldn't call them flying saucers. I don't know. What is the new name for them?
Unidentified flying objects. No,
there's a new one.
It's like it's
not a UFO.
No, it's not. It's
we call them UFOs, and we will continue to call them UFOs.
UAPs.
UAPs, because it's an
Unidentified anomalous phenomena.
That's harder to say, bro. Yeah. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah.
Everyone calls them UFOs. Now, Bird, the guy, claimed that in his journals, yes,
UFOs are unidentified flying objects often assumed to be alien spacecraft. UAPs are unidentified aerial phenomena used to describe unexplainable
things,
events in the sky.
Oh, so they are different.
So they are UFOs.
Okay, so they are UFOs. I thought they had changed the name.
But a UFO is technically a
Could
UAP.
be a UAP. Yeah, because we still don't know for sure.
Yeah. Sorry.
You know they know. The government knows.
The government is
100%.
for sure in on it.
So Bird claimed in his journals that an enemy had been encountered, a new enemy, I think is what he said, that could fly from the north and south poles super fast, like from one pole to the other.
Correct.
Now,
Because it's an alien.
Yes,
boy.
we'll talk about it. Now, I'm gonna really quick. I guess I'll come back to that. So, a few other random theories out there is that Russia did some drilling in Antarctica. Okay.
Okay.
They drilled into this subglacial lake called Vostok. Okay. In 2012, they broke through for the first time. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like the first time it had happened. Okay. And people thought, oh, you know what? They can find like prehistoric creatures like in this mission. So they believe that they encountered something called organism 46B, which is a giant octopus. Okay. A giant octopus. A shape-shifting giant octopus.
Cute.
And apparently Russia, it's thought, has this monster
of
now
course.
To use as like a military asset to militarize it. Okay. So I don't know who they're sending this octopus after, but I just want you to be aware.
Release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken. So this is a theory I was looking up. Like apparently it is on like the little cryptid like list. Like if you look up the wiki, and apparently it like lets out this poison and all this stuff and all this crazy stuff. It's literally shapeshifts as well, which I'm like, what?
It's a shape-shifting alien.
Right.
And it shapeshifted into an octopus.
It could be an alien, yeah.
It's an alien that shapeshifted into an octopus for self-preservation.
To hide itself in the ocean.
And then, except that alien, actually, no, octopi are like alien, like dogs, right? Isn't that what I said the last time?
Oh, I forgot about that.
I forgot about that too.
They're like their pets.
They're like pets.
Interesting. So. All right. And more Reddit members have, made more conspiracies in October 2024. So this is recent. They discovered on Google Maps, once again, a weird shape, something that looks like a large doorway. Now people began to say it could be the entrance to the Nazi base that they think is still there, or possibly a Bigfoot vacation getaway. That's
well, what about Yetis? Yetis
exactly. It's just the Yeti's home, not just a getaway.
It could just be the Yeti.
Or it could be. Or obviously they think it could be just the alien entrance, or it could be a seed vault, which apparently is like there's one in Norway where it's like they like reserve like some of food resources like for if the world goes to
but in Antarctica,
goes up in flames. Yeah, why would you keep seed vault in Antarctica?
Grow.
Well, it wouldn't grow. Well, I guess unless they have it like temperate controlled because they get the technology from the aliens. That could be a thing. They're utilizing alien technology to keep this down there. That's my theory. But of course, scientists have looked at it and they said, it's just an iceberg. It's just
of course they would.
Out of there.
Scientists would say that.
Right. It's just like, melted some and refrozen, or it's like an outcrop of rock with snow trails. And of course I have a little picture for you to see it. It's literally an iceberg. But
dude, it's like ice.
Felina said, dude, it's ice. It doesn't. Yeah. That's the giant door.
I mean, it definitely looks like an entryway.
It does.
To like a cave.
But it's an ice. It's an ice door.
An ice cave. Superman's Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah. Felina's like, this is no conspiracy theory. It is literally just Superman.
So aliens.
Yeah. So aliens.
Well, but could this, hear me out.
Okay.
Could this be the doorway to the 2018 dude?
Oh, to the the place. Yeah.
The place where
And if you
whoever
touch
he
it,
was
yeah,
meeting.
it could be because he said there were doors. And
Could
he
this
said
be the doorway?
because it could be covered in more ice. Because technically he was in 2003 when he went. So
So
like
it's
more of
even
the building.
icier.
Yeah, could be.
It could be that.
It could be.
Where we don't know who he was meeting, but it was probably the Wizard
Well,
of
and he
Oz.
said the doors were very thick. So, and
Yeah.
like if you can see, it looks a little.
It is thick.
It is thick.
It is.
It is.
The other option is it's literally just an entrance to a cave.
Right. Right.
An ice cave.
An ice cave. Now there's another entrance that they think that they found, which to me looks fake. It's also like I think a satellite image that looks like it's shaped like a UFO entrance, and I'll show you that one. It was in the video that I was watching.
Yeah, that looks doctored.
Yeah, it does to me too, but it's in the History Channel video.
It also kind
so
of
is the
low-key
pyramid.
looks like a mushroom.
It does. It looks fake to me, but they're like it's clearly man-made or / alien-made. Like it's not.
Dude, no, this is 100% doctored.
100%,
Look right
yeah.
there. Like
No,
in that
it
little
looks-
corner.
yeah.
Like you can tell it's someone photoshopped this
Yes.
for sure.
Yes, it's photoshopped.
The
But
shadows
that's
are
another
all
one
wrong.
that's like yeah, I know. I was like, that doesn't
Yeah.
look real at all. Like and like why does it stop? Like what is this stuff?
Yeah, like what's that right there?
What's that? Yeah.
Why does it stop?
It
Like
doesn't
that?
look real, but they're like, it's UFO shaped, and so it's for like the UFO to go through.
Nah, fam.
I'm like, okay, come on.
You're not gonna give me that easy.
Yeah. Now, a few little fun ones that just, random. The Illuminati are keeping the Hollow Earth a secret.
Cute.
That's one of them.
Yes.
Because
What
they
about
know
the
it's
Freemasons?
true. The Freemasons are probably also keeping it.
Didn't we talk about them on here, or did we just talk about them in general?
We talked about the Freemasons with the Knights Templar.
Yes.
But we didn't go into details.
Yes.
Now, the thing that I will close out with is in 2018, yet again, a satellite image was taken of contrails. So, like, the things left behind by airplanes in the sky, like the little things that we see.
Yeah.
It spanned 12,000 miles from North to South Pole.
Oh.
Contrails can only last for a maximum of 30 minutes tops. Okay. And the
So
majority
how
of them,
did it span the entire way?
The majority of them disappear in 15, like under 15 minutes. Okay. So it would require something going like, I think they said 50,000 miles per hour.
Alien.
Okay. And that is 10 times like the speed of anything on Earth. But the image was captured like this is a complete trail, like that stayed intact from pole to pole. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it's either aliens or government
Right.
testing of like new technology or alien.
And remember, it's
technology.
thought that the entrances are at the North and South
At the
poles.
North and South poles.
Like for the aliens to get into the Earth. So if they're just
Yeah.
like, hey, run over to Northy or whatever they call it
Yeah.
and get some whatever that we need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
Just saying.
saying. I'm just saying.
That one's interesting to me though. I'm like, okay. The others, the ice door's funny. The entrance definitely looks fake. There were other things like, oh, this is a UFO crashed, or oh, this is like a frozen alien in the side of the hill. And I'm like, that is not an alien. Like it didn't look like.
Like, okay, sure.
Yeah, like stuff that like obviously it was like very clearly. I mean, the mountain is obviously just a mountain, but it is very
it does
it
look
looks like a
it is
pyramid.
very well, and it's got like 4 edges, like
Yeah.
like you know how like the triangles have 4 sides. It's got like those 4
Yeah.
the line like that X.
It's like how you
line.
draw. You try to draw
Yeah.
a pyramid or whatever.
Yeah.
So
So
pretty interesting
It
stuff
is
there.
kinda. It could be. It could be.
yeah.
But are there any other ones around it? That's the tell.
I
is it
don't
just the
know if
one?
it's like right around it, but they're like you can look and see that there's other mountains, but I don't know if they look
If they look the same,
if
that's
they
okay.
look the same. But I
If
have
you
to look it
know,
up. Yeah, if you know, tell me.
about these mountains in Antarctica or these pyramid mountains in Antarctica,
Yeah.
you can let us know at lattespodcast@gmail.com or on Facebook and Instagram under Lattes on My Mind, or you can reach us on our website, lattespodcast.com.
What?
Or you can, or you can, or you can comment on any of our,
Or posts.
Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Audible, and YouTube.
It's been a long day. It's been a long day. And you can go to our
Did
website.
I say it wrong?
No, I don't know. I think I registered.
lattespodcast.com.
I know, but I think I don't know what you said.
I think you registered at gmail.com.
I did. And I thought it was the website. And I
Yeah.
got confused.
No, it was not the website.
But, if you all have conspiracies about what you think Antarctica actually has going on, we would love to hear it.
Please tell us. We want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Is there just military stuff going
down? We need feedback from you guys.
Right.
Okay?
We need some. We want to share.
We need you to, we need a call and response. Okay.
Yes.
We're calling you. We need a response.
We want to be able to say, listen, one of our listeners said.
One of our listeners says this. And you can let us know if we can share your name or not.
Yeah.
And then we'll be like, this person says this.
His name is Bob.
Agree. Or we can be like, this person says this and I disagree. And then you can email back and be like, well, I disagree with your disagreement.
Listen here.
Because of this. And then I'll be like, you make good points.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways.
Yeah. So.
Don't go to Antarctica because it's cold.
And there are aliens. What if the penguins are